Welcome back guys, 2015 Audi S3, and right in front of me I have a 10.25 inch Android head unit that we're going to be installing in this car. So this S3 has got the little pop-up screen that you get in basically all A3, S3 models for this vintage. We're going to be taking that out and putting this screen in, and we're going to be showing you how to do that. Now before we get into it, if you want to pick up something like that, that will be on the website. But otherwise, we're going to jump in the car, have a look at what is there, and then we're going to show you how to change that to what is in this box. So step inside. This is the Audi S3, and as you can see on the dash here, we have a flat panel. When you turn the MMI unit on or the vehicle on, you get the screen that pops out of the dash. So decent screen, good Bluetooth audio quality, good Bluetooth phone call quality. It does not have factory fitted CarPlay. So if you wanted to keep everything original as it is, we could add a module in the background to give you CarPlay that will work with the original dial. So you'd have CarPlay and Android Auto. What we're going to be doing in this car though is removing this whole piece here, which is the screen, the motor, everything, and we're putting in a 10-inch touchscreen display. To do that, we're going to start down here and we're going to remove the glove box and the main radio module. So let's get it done. So it should look something like this behind the glove box. Here's all the main radio power cables and connectors. This is what we're going to use for our new head unit, so we'll make sure we keep that stuff accessible. This is the wiring I was showing you earlier. That's pretty sloppy work, to be honest with you guys. As a professional, that is nasty, really. And we have fuse taps in the fuse box. This isn't the end of the world, but I'd like to see some tape and just, you know, neatening up of that cabling. But anyway, next step is to pull these vents out. Now, a lot of cars, we do have special tools that are a long pick hook tool that you get in behind the vent and pull out. I'm not sure if we need that on this car or if we're just gonna sort of use a trim tool around the vent. I'll have a play with it and let you know. This car actually has a phone mount behind the vents, so I'd say these ones are gonna come out pretty easily. And once they're out, we have two Torx 20s, and then we can take the top screen out. So I've just gotten the cover off first. I'm not sure if it's meant to come off first, but it's fine, it's just on clips. So that's gonna help me look down and see what else is holding this screen in place. At the very front side of the screen, there's two little clips. So just use your plastic trim tool to get in and press each of those down. And then we should be able to, there we go, get the whole thing out. Just be very careful. The bottom side of this is the actual screen. So if you don't want to damage it, just be very wary of it. Okay, so this is what we look like in the S3 with everything completely disconnected. And we can basically go and grab the main wiring loom now, and I'll show you what to plug in and where to plug it in. In the package, main loom, you can't miss it. There's a quad lock connector. So you want to plug that into the original quad lock, which is what I've done. And then it will give you back another male. That's going to go back into the factory head unit. So we are keeping the factory head unit in this car. Coming down, you'll see some extra connectors here. I've left it all as it is. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat here. If we don't have sound, we're going to have to unplug this AUX connector, plug in the extension cable, which is in the kit, and then we're going to need to run the extension cable into here where the AUX port or AMI port is. The kit comes with everything you need. So if it's AMI, plug in the AMI. If it's AUX, plug it straight in. But this is a maybe. So first things first, we'll plug it in as it is and test it. And if we need to do that, we will. And if not, great. Going down the loom, you'll see this connector here on the same harness. That we're going to run up the dash over to the head unit. All right, we're a little bit further into the install. All the original cabling, I sort of bundled up like this and then tucked it down there. And now we have new main power harness, SIM card slot connector, which comes in the kit, microphone, GPS and Wi-Fi. So that's basically everything we need to test this head unit. And then coming down here, I've just quickly plugged in the original radio. Every single plug is connected. And what we'll do is we'll go and grab the new unit and we'll test everything. So that sound I was talking about before, we'll test that. We'll test factory camera, factory settings. We'll basically test it all. And if it all works, then we can pretty much button this up. And there it is. It's really not the hardest install in the world. If you're pedantic like me, microphone's here, close to the driver. I was feeding the cabling up underneath the roof liner, and trying to get in behind this little panel here was a nightmare. So I pulled the panel off, and then while I was working on this area, the actual mirror came off the bracket. Absolutely annoying. I was there to catch it, so I didn't fall, thank God. But if you want to put this panel back on, this bracket, it is a nightmare. And you have to be very careful not to crack the glass. I didn't crack the glass, but I was doing research online, and a lot of people do. But when it goes on, it's dead straight now, but you sort of twist it on an angle, line the feet up, and then twist it on. Sounds easy, is a nightmare to do. Anyway, now we can test this unit. All right, so with everything plugged in, the unit will now be ready to turn on. Ignition on, and have a look at that. Already happy with what we're seeing. We've got the original MMI stuff popping up on the screen. So if we use the dial, we can go back and we can go through the settings. Amazing. Now if I touch the screen, boom, have a look at that. It's brought us right into the new system. So before we test CarPlay and all that sort of stuff, you want to go to music, and there are some test files on here. So we're going to play sound. Now we have nothing right now, so let's go back. Media, source, and see we have AMI empty. All right, so that with that set up the way it is, we might need to run that AUX cable into the center console. I'm going to do a little bit of playing and mucking around first, and I'll let you know what I find. All right, we're back. So what I was trying to say was, this is the tricky part. We want to turn the Bluetooth on the original side and delete all the phones like I just did, and then get into search mode. While we're searching, we're going to touch the screen, swipe down, and we're going to go into this Bluetooth and pair the car to the screen. Sounds weird, I know, but trust me, it works. So while this is searching, we'll let it do its thing. Eventually, we hopefully should see Audi MMI or Audi S3. So now it's going to try and pair. So now we're going to go back, car info, yes, connect. Yes, the pin matches. Okay, now it's connected to QCOM. Now we'll go back just in case it's asked us something here. It has not. Let's just give it a minute and hopefully. Okay, it looks like it's failed. So now we try again. Boom. We are done. Contacts, whatever, doesn't matter. So now when you get in the car, Audi MMI will pair to QCOM, which is the screen. Then you're going to go to media, which is on your original MMI. And we're on Bluetooth audio player, right? So this is doing its thing. So now, if I play music, we should get music through the factory Bluetooth audio system. There you go. Same for phone calls and same for everything else. How good is that? So you don't need to run any other cables. So how this works is, let's just imagine MMI head unit. MMI pairs to head unit. Phone also pairs to head unit. And the head unit does the heavy lifting by sending audio out to the MMI and phone calls and all that sort of stuff, and also pairing your phone so you can get CarPlay. So when we open up Bluetooth, we'll have a new Bluetooth name, which is the GT6 name. We will go back, we will go on. So now on my phone, I'll find that. Okay, so I just had to restart the car because the Bluetooth wasn't popping up, but that's fine. If we scroll down, after the reboot, the screen automatically connects to Audi again, which is amazing. So very happy with that. And now we can go back here, and then if I go telephone, GT6, which I've just found straight away now. Pair, allow. It'll do its thing. It'll bring you right into CarPlay. Hit connect, hit yes, done, and give it a second and have a look at that. There you go. Have a look at how good that looks. So to confirm our theory, let's go Spotify, play some music. All working. A lot of bass. I'm not sure if that's how the customer's got it set up, but that is a lot of bass. But you can always go through there and play with all the sound settings and stuff. But everything is working exactly as we want. I'll test phone calls, I'll do some more tests. I'll go to reverse. This is not gonna work right now. It's gonna show aftermarket. So we need to go and set factory camera. But basically, I'm happy that everything is working as it should. So I'll start getting this thing put back together and then we'll do a final test on the unit. So to prove our theory one last time, I've let the car go to sleep all the way down. So we'll turn it on and then the unit will boot up. So you get the logo, beautiful logo, I know, very, very nice. All right, so firstly, unit boots up. It opens up music because that was the last app I had open. That's fine, let's just leave it for a sec. Sound is coming through Bluetooth audio, which is great. Oh, my buddy got in the way and it just went to pair to CarPlay on its own, which is perfect. So from here, we'll go across, Spotify, music, play, volume up, start the song, and look at that. Yeah, they try. All working. All right guys, everything is back together and we're ready to do a demo on this. I was going to do this outside, but it is hailing and raining and it is a very nasty day. Now with the glove box, in here, the main radio module, I'm not gonna lie, it is very hard to get back in. So hot tip, put the bottom two screws in, 1, 2, the very under section. Leave the top in place, but not bolted in. And then you can sort of drop it down, get this fascia in, get this radio module in and maneuver your plugs so you can get it in. And when once it's in, it'll be nice and flush like mine. Here we have 2 USB ports and a SIM card. We've just left in the glove box here for the customer. That's pretty much it. As for this, have a look at that. How great does it look? Looks amazing. So as that should look a little bit better for you guys now. I'm using the original dial control to go through CarPlay. And then you can also use your touchscreen. Sitting in the car, I'm not a super tall person and I can reach this no problem. So I'm very happy about that. Swipe from the top, go home. From here, very fast user interface. How much of this are we gonna go through? So we got video and music. If you use these two, it's gonna be via USB in the glove box. Navigation, you can actually set what app it opens. Right now it's opening Google Maps. Telephone is where you'll pair your phone. Car Auto is our CarPlay, easy. Car Info is the original car settings and menus, nice and easy. Dashboard is pretty cool, so it will show you which door is open, which is the wrong way around. So we'll make sure we fix that. I'll show you how to do that. It'll show you when your car's running, sort of the revs and speed and everything. Now, this car's got a low battery and a check engine light. So this is why this happens. So we'll just wait for it to boot up again. Now telephone, like we saw yesterday, is pairing to the new screen as it should. So that's amazing to see overnight it's working as it should. Now we can touch the screen and go back again and go back to dashboard. So you see here if I rev, that'll go up. Now of course it'll always connect you to CarPlay when it boots up. So let's let it do it. Let's let it do its thing. 1, 2, 3, straight into CarPlay. Boom. Now, DVR don't worry about, it's for a Chinese dash cam. The Chinese dash cams are no good. Just stick with Blackview and Thinkware. Applications, now if we go into here, we've got Play Store, we've got Google, we've got Chrome, you go over, not much else in there. If you connect this unit to the internet with the SIM card that's in the glove box, so you can put a SIM card in there, or you can swipe down and connect a hotspot, you can basically go into Play Store, log in with any Gmail account and go crazy. Download Netflix, YouTube, OBD2 app for this car. It's a sports car, it's an S3, so you don't want to see, temperatures and stuff. You can do all of that from this screen. So there is a lot you can do. Time is definitely wrong, so we need to fix that, and we need to fix the doors. On this side here, it's shortcuts. So that is a shortcut to music. That is a shortcut to navigation, phone, settings, and then car info, which is the original car settings. Now if we go down, Audio S3, still connected, exactly what we want. Now in settings, system, reverse. This is where we're going to change to original camera. All right, we saw yesterday the camera wasn't working. It was as simple as that. So if we go to reverse, we now see factory camera. All right, resolution's going to be about the same as it was before. Go to park, or hit the park button, get out of that. Come down, we go factory settings. Now password will be given to you by your supplier. Vehicle display. Now UI configuration, you can change these. So we'll go to MIB2, I'll reboot the unit and show you what that looks like. It's pretty much everything at a glance. What else here? We can just double check that the sound is working again, because I know Bluetooth calls and Bluetooth audio are very important for people. So let's make sure everything is working. Start with. Okay. If you ever have an issue like this, it's actually nothing to do with the screen, right? CarPlay and everything that's happening on CarPlay comes from your phone. And I've been having this issue a lot on the newest software. So what you do, go and find your, I don't even have it open. So open Spotify, close it, right? You can open it again now. Play and you watch it'll work straight away. Don't know why. My phone's been doing it. Yeah, there you go. Working. We have a lot of bass coming through the speaker system, so I want to see why. Let's go. Sound is on user, which is flat. Good. Flat. Volume. Android volume's not too high. Volume's not too high. So let's go to here and let's see what the customer has set their sound system to, because I'll probably tip. Yeah, we got bass super high. We got subwoofer pretty high. Treble, and that's okay. Okay. This is all perfect. Let's try that again. Okay, sounds amazing. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I just wanted to make sure that across the board we didn't have really, really high bass and the customer's like, what the hell? Well, some customers like it. Everything on flat, it sounds how it should. I'll tell the customer, hey, we've put all your audio settings back to flat. Have a listen to it. If you like it, awesome. If not, play with it as you wish. It's their car and it's their screen at the end of the day. So let's have a look at that UI. We'll reboot the system. Boom, MIB2. Anybody that is an OG subscriber to this channel or has seen our other videos, you will know this user interface. Special settings, and you got all these cars. So A3, unfortunately, you can't change these. There's no S3, there's just the A3. So we do A3, we go back. It's an A3 hatch, it's not an S3, but it's close enough. The amount of people that ask me to get back this UI is crazy. So there it is. A lot of people love it. Why not keep it? And that is it, guys. That is the Audi S3 done with this huge, massive, beautiful looking touchscreen system. That's it. Thanks for watching. There it is, guys. 10-inch screen for the Audi S3 completed. If you're in the mind of a 12-inch or a 14-inch screen, just have a look at how big that screen is already. It fits the dash really nice. You don't need anything bigger, but you let me know. Is that too big or not big enough? Anything else, drop in the comments below. If you want to pick up that exact screen, first link in the description will take you to the product. If you want anything else, go to the website, installation inquiries, other products, anything you need, go to the website. And that is pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.